Take three. Boom.
Hey everyone, this is Jim Grisanzio from the Oracle Groundbreakers team. We're back here in Tokyo, Japan, and this is the Java Japan User Group CCC conference, and I'm here with Oleg
Šelajev.
Oleg Šelajev. Okay. I just actually met you today, actually for the first time.
Yes.
So Oleg, you did a talk on GraalVM here, and I was in your talk earlier today, and I noticed it was full, almost full. There were a lot of people there. There seems to be actually several other, talks here at the conference on, GraalVM. So, give me an overview of what you talked about in your talk, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Very nice to meet you. Excellent. Yeah, sorry about that. I know that. Yeah, good point. Right. So, very nice to meet you, and very nice to be here. This is my first time in Japan. So, my session was about GraalVM, which is a high-performance polyglot virtual machine. We can run different languages. We can run programs in JavaScript, Ruby, Python, JVM languages, of course, and R, and some native languages as well. So, the GraalVM goal is to run them programs efficiently, meaning really fast, and to provide a unified platform for developers to develop applications in those languages. So, to make developers more productive. And my session was a little bit of an overview what GraalVM can do for specifically Java developers and how you can run Java applications on GraalVM. It provides you with a way to run on a normal Java hotspot VM, substituting the top-tier optimizing compiler for the GraalVM compiler, which can lead to significant speed-ups at runtime. And also GraalVM can compile some Java applications ahead of time into the platform binary, and then that platform binary will be probably smaller in size than your application plus the JVM. It will not depend on the JVM, so it will link directly into the operating system libraries, and it will start really fast, and it will not consume as much memory as you would expect normally from a Java program. So you can use that mode specifically for cloud deployments, like microservices when you need to scale your applications to zero, because it starts really fast, so you don't have to keep warmed up instances running, and you can use it in the cloud environment where your memory consumption is very important, because every single instance can you can reduce the memory consumption of an instance quite significantly, right? So GraalVM offers you a choice how you'd like to run your programs, and it's a very exciting development in the ecosystem. So. As you mentioned, there were other sessions here.
It was actually very interesting to me because there were several other sessions. Why all of a sudden all this interest in GraalVM? Do you think here in Japan?
I think there is a lot of interest in the community worldwide towards GraalVM, and it's been the project is mostly developed by Oracle Labs, which is a research and development department within Oracle. Which is
where you work.
Yes, I work with the GraalVM team at Oracle Labs, and the goal of Oracle Labs is to do it's a research facility, right? So the people there do actual science, figure out what we can do differently in computer science, how we can run programs more efficiently, compilers, Siri, virtual machines, and so on. And then eventually the goal is to convert that accumulated knowledge into products that can benefit the ecosystem and the industry, right? So GraalVM last year started reaching the stage where we wanted to make this conversion from the purely academic project to something that people use every day. And then since last year, we started making more progress towards making it more stable, right? Making sure that people know it, that more people try it out in the community for their workloads. Making sure that the way we do things with GraalVM are appropriate for the community and acceptable, right? And then this year in May, we released the first official release binaries. It was GraalVM 19.0, well, for the year. And after that, more and more people I felt were interested in trying that out, because before it kind of was also maybe it has been seen as a maybe research project more, but with an official release of the Oracle product, which is the GraalVM Enterprise Edition. I think the community realized that this is a thing that will stay and will be with us for years, and it generated quite a bit of interest.
I noticed in your slides you said that some really big companies are starting to use it now. And, is it, you guys are also getting contributions for companies as well as individuals, right?
Yes, of course. So the core GraalVM is an open source project. It's the whole virtual machine, the whole functionality is written in Java, which is a little bit unusual way for writing compilers and virtual machines. Normally, people would go for like a lower level language, like C or C++. So being written in Java is a very big plus for the Java ecosystem, because there are more developers who can read the code. You can use your normal tools to like observe what code is doing, to debug it. You can load it into IDE and like click on the definitions and have all the help from the tooling that you know how to use towards like investigating what the project is doing. So I think that it's a little bit easier to contribute. You still have to know things about the compilers or runtimes, but also it is kind of a little bit easier because any Java developer can fix a random null pointer exception, right? So we have been seeing contributions, and we are seeing interest towards GraalVM both as the usage goes, right? So there are several companies who are using GraalVM or its components in production environments right now, and also interest towards contributing and developing the open source project altogether. For example, just next week, on like this Monday, in 2 days, we will have the GraalVM community workshop in Zurich, and the people from various companies that usually are associated in some sense with Java development. And maybe they provide the binaries for the OpenJDK distributions, or maybe they build something on top of GraalVM, like frameworks. We'll come to Zurich, and we will have a few days of meeting with them, and we'll try to make like a workshop environment where everyone will know everyone and get acquainted, and we will put faces to the GitHub profiles, and we will talk through issues, and we'll maybe, because the Oracle Labs team is quite a bit of the GraalVM team is based in Zurich, so we could maybe share that expertise with people interested, and I'm looking forward to that very much, and I think it would be very interesting to see how much interest it will after this workshop could be generated as well, specifically for contributions and for building on top of GraalVM.
So you're here in Japan, but do you get around to other places to talk about GraalVM as well?
Yes, so my official position is a developer advocate, so I'm mostly concentrating my efforts on developer relations, writing content about GraalVM, explaining things to the community, making small demo applications for people to try, occasional commits to various parts of GraalVM. Not as many to the compiler as I would like. I feel like that eventually I should get commits to the heart of the GraalVM project, but I'm working towards that. And yes, a part of that job is to go around and talk to developers in different communities that solve kind of different problems in different ways and gather feedback. So I'm a little bit lucky to get to travel to different countries and talk to different developers.
Is this your first time to Japan?
Yes, this is my first trip to Japan. And
any reaction to this conference here?
The conference is excellent. So I personally don't speak Japanese, which kind of, if I would, that would be much more convenient here. Duh. But the conference is organized in a superb way. Everything, the speakers are taken care of. Everything is clear. The audience is engaging and interested. They ask questions. They are following the session. I am enjoying my time here very much. I've listened to other sessions. Unfortunately, there were several sessions about GraalVM at the conference. Some specifically about the technology that GraalVM provides. There was a session about Truffle, which is our language implementation framework, with which we can provide support for different languages. And there was a session about serverless platform for Java applications, and how you can use GraalVM native images to kind of improve the serverless experience for your Java apps because of the memory requirements being lower and the startup. And there were a session about Quarkus, which is a framework by Red Hat, which supports GraalVM native images as a deployment platform. It was a session from Dmitry Kornilov about the Helidon framework, which is also one of the frameworks which supports GraalVM native images. And there were a few other sessions with GraalVM in the names, and some of them were unfortunately in Japanese. So I tried to network and exchange contacts with all the speakers there to just follow up with them and maybe look at the slides. But I feel that for a one-day conference, right? It was very refreshing and very nice to see so much content, even if it's not directly about GraalVM, but related to the technology. So I think it's going to be a next big thing in the Java ecosystem.
Yeah, and you might very well get some good contributions from some of these guys here.
Yes, absolutely. It's an open source project, and everyone can contribute. There are a number of open issues on GitHub, right? There are very many components, right? There are like 5 languages and the compiler technology and the runtime bits and the language implementation framework and the tooling. One of the good things is GraalVM as the tooling support for all the languages in a unified way. Because to GraalVM, all the languages look kind of the same. It's just interpreters over abstract syntax trees for the language, for the program. So the tools can integrate with GraalVM platform. Sorry. And then, so the good thing is that the languages look the same to the platform, right? So from the GraalVM point of view, they're just interpreters over the abstract syntax trees for the language for the programs in those languages. So tools can integrate with the platform, and you get the unified experience for example, a debugger that will work with all the languages, or a profiler. So that is another area where we can get contributions. Or we recently, the team released, we had the plugins for Visual Studio Code for the IDE to simplify writing polyglot applications. They provide you with some code completion and some syntax highlighting for the code inside strings, or some installation ease of installation features, or attaching debugger and so on for the Visual Studio Code. And those plugins recently made into the marketplace for the Visual Studio, right? Maybe this is something that someone is interested in, and maybe this is something that you can try and contribute, or at least send us feedback about what we're doing. So, yeah, we would like to make it a good open source project. And
it's really interesting because it's an open source project, but you guys are also productizing it. Labs is supporting it, right?
Yes. So the GraalVM, you can get GraalVM binaries in 2 different flavors. There is the GraalVM Community Edition, which is the open source GraalVM. This is the code that you see on GitHub, the code that you can build yourself. And it's a fully functional GraalVM distribution. It can run all the languages, it can run all the programs. And then there's a GraalVM Enterprise Edition, which is a product by Oracle, which differentiates mostly on performance and some scalability features that are targeting enterprises, right? So it features a more powerful just-in-time compiler, so your application can run even faster. And it features some performance-oriented optimizations for the native images, so your GraalVM native image can be a little bit faster. And it features some support for security-oriented things like running native languages in a managed environment, where we can reduce the probability of certain bugs with memory corruption that native languages are susceptible to. So there is a product that differentiates on features, and we're very open about the existence of the product. because the GraalVM is a large project. I think we are currently maintaining something like several million lines of code across both languages and the tooling and the compiler and everything. So it's very important, and it's very healthy for the project of this size to have a clear monetization strategy. Right? We have open about that. We are proud that we created the thing that is, we think, is worth investigating and checking into. And you can always opt into this. For me, as a developer advocate, it's very important that this is not something that we are forcing on the community. So GraalVM Community Edition is very interesting in itself, right? People are using that. People are very happy about that. People are very excited about the abilities that it has. But also, if you want additional performance, if you want the official support by the Oracle from the GraalVM team, you can look into maybe getting into the Oracle GraalVM Enterprise Edition thing.
So cool. And I think this is wrapping up here. We got everybody over there for the group photo. So I think we're going to call that a wrap here. Thanks a lot for coming by. I appreciate it. I'm really happy you were here, and I'm really actually happy that you were communicating and connecting with all the other GraalVM speakers here. So you're probably going to get some contributions from these guys. So that's really cool. So thanks a lot for coming by. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys here soon. Bye-bye now.